Hi everyone, this is Kelly with Kelly Ann Crafts, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in McKinney, Texas. Today we are going to start with our July cards, and our first card is going to come from the Thoughtful Journey bundle here. We're using the paper and the stamps. We're not using the Designer Series paper or the gems, but we certainly could put some of the gems on there if we wanted to. This is on page 47 of the catalog. We'll be using this stamp set, and then I'm going to be using the dies from Spotlight on Nature because I want the circle. And specifically, this comes with two sets of, well, a total of 12 circles. So this is one set, and then this is the second set. And I believe I used this one, and it's either this one or it is this one here. It could be this one. I think it is this one on this page. I think this is the die I used. So let's get started. Let me show you the card we're going to do, and I will put this off to the side. And we will be using Peach Pie for ink today. And this is the card that we're going to be making today. It's a fun fold, but it's also got a band on it. But normally we make a belly band out of paper, and I did it out of ribbon this time. And this is just really decorative. You could stamp something here if you like. I didn't. I chose not to. And then this just opens up, and it shows a panoramic view of the beautiful Designer Series paper. And then we have a card within a card. So we really have two cards together. But I just wanted to showcase the paper, so that's what we did here. And then here's where we're going to write our greeting to, or our message to, the recipient. So, and then for the envelope, I just used a stamp on here, and I stamped on the bottom here, and you almost can see it. It's stamped through the envelope here. Very interesting. So let's get started. In your packet, you will have a envelope. Inside there will be a piece of ribbon, hopefully long enough to tie around your card. You will have your Cajun Craze base. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4 and 2 1/8, or if you're coming from this side, 2 1/8, 4 1/4. Okay. You will have 3 pieces of Designer Series paper that actually marry up to create one panel. So these are your 3 panels of the Designer Series paper, and this is the contrasting paper that just goes on the side. And then you will have your second little card. This piece is going to be adhered on this side, and then we'll stamp here. So let's get some stamping done. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my envelopes and my card and my center circle here. And like I said, we are going to be using pumpkin pie. And I will start with putting in my sentiment in here. Now the best thing about this right here is that it doesn't matter how straight you make it, because you can turn it to be straight when you put it on the other piece. I'm going to turn on some lights here. I think this is a little dark right now. And there we go. I think that's a little bit easier to see, hopefully. So as you can see, I put "You Make Life Better." And then I'm also going to stamp up the thistles in here. Inside my white card, I'm going to put it on the side. Make sure it's just tap, tap, don't smash. And I will set that down there. Beautiful. And then I am going to do this on the I always stamp off on another piece of paper so this background doesn't get too messed up while I'm filming. And I only have this grid paper on here so that there's no glare from the glass mat from Stampin' Up. I love my glass mat. For those of you who are watching this video this month, it is available in the online store. I think it's really nice. And, you know, you'll have to tell me what you think. I've always used a glass mat, whether it was a Stampin' Up glass mat or a Tim Holtz one. I've always used one because I like the hardness underneath me, and I can smear paint on there and everything. So that makes it nice. So pretty much our stamping is done. We have our envelope and we have our little sentiment. I am going to quickly just adhere my sentiment onto here. And what's nice about this is you just have to make like an X, you know, with your adhesive. You don't have to get too crazy with it. And you're just going to center it on there. And don't worry about it. Look at the outside of the circle and try to make it even all the way around. And you're just going to set it down, and that's it. When you need to worry about whether it's straight is when we finally adhere it to our ribbon. So that's part number 1 done. Let's put our card together. This will take just seconds. So we're going to take our card base, and let me grab a bone folder here, and I'm going to burnish this, and where it has got a score line at 2 1/8, we're just going to burnish it back. So far this is pretty simple. Okay, now we are going to take, and you can do them out of order, but I think the thing is, it's kind of fun. I mean, you can do them any which way. Nobody's really going to know the difference too much, but I like to put them in the order that the paper was cut. So this paper was cut in this order. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So number 1, we take our adhesive, and I do that little Z thing, and that is really nice because once you do the Z thing, you've got it every time. It kind of gets the center and the bottom, and you got a little bit of time, and there you go. Woo. Okay, and now we'll take the next one, and now you're doing it with the card open, so you can just put your adhesive on. And you know what I think is funny is that I think pretty much the tying of the knot is the hardest part of this whole card. So if you can tie a knot, you can do this card. That's what I like. Very fun, easy. It's kind of a fall card in colors, but really when you think of late August, when everything is getting a little bit tired from the summer, some of these colors are out there. You start seeing the warmer colors. Corn is getting, you know, brown in the feed corn's getting brown in the fields, things like that. In the upper Midwest, down here in Texas, it's pretty much pulled out of the field somewhere around the 4th of July because it's hot. Like, it's in the 90s. Heat indexes are over 100. And so this one here, just gonna, now like I said, I do things kind of at an angle so I can keep them, you know, kind of even. And it's just for me to be at an angle. I don't know why it makes me line them up better, but it does. Well, there we have the first part of our card done. Let's put in our sentiment or our piece here. You also could, if you chose to, stamp on here. That would work too. I'm going to leave it blank because that is the way I designed. Look at this paper. Even the other side is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous paper. Okay. And this, I just sort of centered it in the middle of the card side. And it is cut so there's a small border at the top and a small border at the bottom. There we go. Good enough. Okay, So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to burnish this really, really well and pretend this is the front side of this part. We're going to take a wet adhesive. When I do wet adhesive, I just squiggle it on with a few little blobs here and there, and I'll show you why. So now I want to get this on here, and I want it lined up. So I'm going to take it, and I'm going to go from one corner to the other corner, and I'm going to line it up. I'm going to tap it down, tap it down. It seems to be very equal. Now I'm going to take a bone folder, and I'm going to go over it like this. I'm not pressing super hard. All I'm doing is giving equal pressure so those blobs of glue kind of spread out. And the reason I'm using glue is I am not that accurate with a tape runner, a glue, like a glue runner like this, to get it on there even. And that gives me wiggle room to get it right. So basically, so here, now my card is done. And this is the part we have to do next. So what I suggest you do, and this is just me, but find the middle of your card somewhere and tie your knot. Okay? Just tie a knot, just a square knot, right over left, left over right. It's not a hard, it's not too hard. So we're just going to tie a knot here. And you should have more than enough. I try to give everybody more than they need to do this. Now I'm holding this down and I'm going to tie my knot. There we go. Got my knot there. It's not super tight. I want to be able to slide it. Very easy. And also whenever you have a card like this, to get them on and off real easy, you just kind of bow the card and you can slide it up and down. Now I'm going to move my knot over a little bit, and I'm going to determine where I want my sentiment. So this sentiment's right by the knot. I may not do it that close on this one, but I probably will. So I'm going to do my sentiment right in this area. And the best thing I can tell you to do with it is to put tear and tape on here. And let me grab my tear and tape. I put it away, but I've got a little bit of roll. When you get paper pumpkins, a lot of times they have tear and tape in them. You do not need very much tear and tape. You just need a little bit. And that's because this is a super strong adhesive. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit on there. And I'm going to just burnish that down. That's so the adhesive really gets in there. And I'm going to take my pokey tool from this little tool here. It's a take your pick tool, and it is a takey picky tool. And I am going to put this on here like this, as straight as I can. And wherever I put it down, it's now stuck. Trust me, it is really stuck. It's at this point I'm going to trim my ribbons. Now you might have enough to make a bow. I am never sure, so I'm going to go that way with it. Make them both the same way. But I have fat fingers, so and you're going to slide this, and voila, you have your card finished. Again, to get it onto the thing, just bow it a little bit. This is my original card. And there is your cards. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's just a fun use of the paper. And it's kind of a fancy fold, but really not. It's very, very simple. So if you were going to start with a fun fold, I think this is the one I would start with, just because it is just that easy. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely day, and we will see you in our next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.